Okay, so I think I got this thing sorted to work, I think. So I'm going to try to go through a bit of a demo, hopefully I can remember it. So let's start with a new project. You have to go in here under your page settings and change it 8.5 by 11. You actually have to print whatever you're using to your printer, because these registration marks that are on here are crucial. Okay, so first off, I go, honestly, page design is where I change this to 8.5 by 11 portrait, because that's what my printer can do. The cutting mat is the 12 by 12. Okay, then you go under this registration. This probably was off, so I had to go in and turn this on. I used this one because that's the one that was on the internet. I haven't tried the other one, so it hasn't worked. So what I'm going to do is just going to load a picture, and I downloaded an Apple off the internet, so it's right here. So I just turned it on and I end up scaling this to make it a little bit bigger. You actually, like I said, we're going to print this, so that you'd print this on your sticker or your cardstock or whatever you're using. I'm just going to use plain printer paper and go from there. Now, the first thing you actually have to do is you have to find your trace. And I think, no, I'm going to do an offset because this puts a little white border around here first. So I'm going to click on offset. Sorry, no, cancel. We got to trace it first. Okay, so let's find the trace one. I don't know which one it is here. Trace. Okay, so that's the trace window. And we're going to select a trace area. So we're going to highlight the whole thing. And I'll just highlight this. Now there's different types of trace. If you're doing letters, you will probably want normal one. I'm just going to do trace the outer edge for now, because I'm going to pretend this will turn into be a sticker. Oops. Just a minute. Let's try this again. Turn this high pass off first. Yeah, and then the threshold, because see this has all this kind of junk in here. Let's turn the threshold up pretty high. Now if we zoom in here, I'm going to hold the Alt key down and zoom in. You can kind of see it talks a bit about the higher your threshold, the more jagged your edge becomes, but the more, I guess, closer it gets to the thing. So it said to go about 95 to 100 depending on what you're going to do. This seems like a pretty good, fairly decent image, so it shouldn't be bad. So now we're going to, now we select the trace. So high pass is off, low pass is off. We're going to trace only the outer edge. And now, I know you didn't really see anything, so I'm going to zoom out a bit. Now if I actually move this, well that didn't work, okay, because I think I did it twice. Yeah, so this one we can delete. Okay, so this is the outer edge. The other one was from when I did it the first time. Okay, so we're just going to move that back, hopefully fairly close to where it was. I'm going to put an offset on here now that'll actually fix those deficiencies. So now we go to open offset window. We're going to select this, and hopefully this bar will change, because right now that selects the whole image. I only want to select the tracing. There you go, see how it changed, so now it's in. And then we're going to go offset, and then on the internet it said about 0.05 is a good offset. You see how it's here? That's actually probably almost too much. Okay, for some weird reason it didn't accept it, so I'm just going to have to do it by hand here. Let's go down 0.05. So what that will do is it will leave a little white border around the edge once we cut this. So we hit apply. Okay, now I've seen them do this on the net, so I'm going to highlight everything, both of them, right click in the center, and we're going to group them. Not sure why, but now it's one item, so if I move this around, it's one item. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to send this to the actual my printer. So I guess you're limited to 8.5 by 11 for this. Even though you have a 12 by 12 foot mount, unless you get a printer that will actually print bigger sizes. Now this mat is, this sticky mat's a kind of a pain in the butt. But I guess it holds the paper. To get this stuff off is a real pain. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm peeling the original one off, my test cut. So anyway, I'm actually going to go in and hit print. And what I've done is I've actually went into my printer and I've changed to the best quality print. I think it gives a little bit better registration mark. So I'm going to hit that, and then I'm going to hit print. Now we're just waiting for the printer. Okay, so my printer, I have it set up to preview, making sure that your image that you want is inside these registration marks. I'm going to hit start print. Okay, so I'm going to pause this for a second while it's printing. Okay, so now I have the printout, and I'll insert that in the video here somewhere along the way. Hopefully the editing software that I'm using will allow me to. Now once you have the printout, you got to line this all up on the mat. Now if I look at this mat here, see, this is your actual mat here, and so it looks like you actually have to line it up pretty darn good here. And the problem that I had the first couple that I played with, the registration portion of it, one, it has to find these. So if you're actually slightly in a little bit too far, I found like 1/8 of an inch even, it won't find this square. Okay, so I'm gonna again pause this, and I'm gonna go in and get this placed in the mat. I'll try to take a couple pictures, maybe even a short video as it's cutting, and I'll get that posted as well. Okay, so now I got it all loaded into the printer, and hopefully this works. Now there's something called send a silhouette. We click on that, and now it's looking to see that we're connected, and then we hit start. At this point it should look for these registration marks. So I'm going to hopefully switch to the other video. Okay, I'm actually at this point trying to record the mat. Here's the mat, and that I put in here. I can't zoom out any farther than this, which is unfortunate, but if you notice here, there's my registration mark. There's one there, there's one there, and there's, oh sorry, where is it? One there. Okay, so now what I'm going to attempt to do is right over here, and I don't know if you can see it, there's a line. Well, I found if I'm going to go slightly, hopefully this will work. I'm sorry about moving it so you can't see it. Right there, slightly over it. I'm going to go over here and hit load. And it didn't load. Okay. First time I did that. Okay. So, what a pain. Lorraine, this is a pain in the ass, just to let you know. I think that time, hopefully, here it didn't work before, so let's see if it'll work. Okay. So it looks like it grabbed it. Let's hope. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the original video on the computer and see if that works, and then I'll turn it on again. At the same time. So, okay, now I got the video started again, and click on start. And now it should be finding, and you see there, it did find the registration mark. Now it's looking for this bottom registration mark. See that? I don't know if you can see the red light in there, but it's actually finding it with that red light underneath there, and now it's going to go in and it's going to cut this. So okay, now I got the video started again, and click on start, and now it should be finding, and you see there, it did find the registration mark. Now it's looking for this bottom registration mark. You see that? I don't know if you can see the red light in there, but it's actually printing it with that red light underneath there. And now it's going to go in and it's going to cut this. Now it's only cutting the outer edge because that's what I told it to cut. And I guess there's one thing in the video I never showed was, I'll go to later and show the, oh, it's cutting it twice. I screwed up once before because I did the cut, the trace, the one time I did it before I did the offset, so I think it's going to cut it, and I'll have, yeah, my border's probably going to get cut off. But now it's done, and that's it. And then I can go in and I can hit the unload here on the screen. I don't know if you can't see it, but hit enter, it'll unload, and there's my printout. And so now I'm going to get in close. I'm going to peel this off if I can. And all that should be left is my little, oops, oh, I'm making a mess here. Actually, oops, and because things stick in here, you can go in here and peel these off. Just because I'm using very, very thin paper, I would strongly recommend not to use regular printer paper here. There. And so now there you go. There's my object that I cut out. So everything, it seems to all work. And now again, if I should be, now this is going to be difficult without ripping it because of this, but you should see this is that little piece because I screwed up when I did the tracing, so it peels the outer edge off. So you just have to be careful with that. And now I should be able to peel. Oops, and I just ripped it. Peel that apple right off. I know I'm probably going to rip this thing now. If you look in the mat, it almost looks like tiny, but I have the knife set to number 1 on here. So yeah, so anyway, there it is right there. It's all curled because when I peel off the sticker thing, it curls it. So anyway, it all seems to work. But I guess you can see here how I screwed up in this thing. See how I did this. And let's go back in here. See, I had 2 cuts on there, and that's why I cut it twice. So obviously I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So anyway, I can delete it, and if I really want, I can go reprint this, put it back in here. Again, that red line is the cut thing. So working to a point that, and I thought it was right in here. I swore it was in here. There. Oh, there it is. Okay, when you click on the actual paper you're using, see, I had this selected to 1. If I actually go back, I don't know where to set the defaults on here. There was a way to reset the defaults, silhouette defaults. Anyway, I ended up changing that from 2 to 1, so I'm gonna, yours will be on there, and then you'll have to play around with, I don't even know what type of blade is on there. It's a ratcheting blade, I'm assuming, because you can change it. That's why I left it there. And so, and as you change the cardstock, it'll put a little thicker blade. Vinyl is actually a thinner one, depending on the thickness of your vinyl, I guess. See, there's obviously a heavy cardstock is the number 4, chipboard 5, etc. So each one is different, and like I said, it kind of went through on the cutting thing, but or on the pad. So anyway, I hope this all helps for you, and I'm going to test it out a little bit. I might steal a piece of your vinyl. There's a couple things I wouldn't mind cutting, so, and then I'll let you know how things go. So, okay.